In the headlines, Nigerians continue to lament over removal of fuel subsidy as businesses count losses. Police seal up Nasarawa House of Assembly complex over leadership crisis. National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency report says Nigeria lost 150 billion to gas flaring in 4 months. And on the foreign scene, 4 children injured in mass stabbing in French Alps. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for joining. And now the news in full. Nigerians have continued to lament over removal of fuel subsidy and its implication on the economy. Some artisans and other small-scale business owners in Jos Plateau State capital are crying over the loss of their businesses following pump price hike by the federal government. Ado Musa completes the report.
Particularly those artisans in Jos, particularly those using fuel in their daily businesses, are decrying the increase of fuel price, saying that the development has negatively affected their businesses. The artisans say, although the decision to remove the subsidy is a welcome idea, but government should have planned some palliatives that will help the common man before arriving at that decision. You can see it yourself. Things have not been easy for us. Fuel is very expensive now. We are just managing our lives. We used to collect 100 naira to get your tire, but now it is 200 naira. People should know that the fuel is costly, but they keep complaining. People will not understand.
The problem, after they have removed the subsidy, is really affecting my business because now sales is no more like before. Business is down for me. Before I used to buy fuel per liter at 140, 150, but now fuel is reaching 550, 600 for me now. And the paper that I use, I buy it at 600 and it became 240. Now I'm buying paper at 5,000 naira. Now, if I try to say I should do the margin and do the calculation to increase the rate of the service that I do, people won't be patronizing my shop that much.
Shehu Nyalu, Northeast and North Central Chairman of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, also says subsidy removal is already affecting businesses as people are not buying goods like before.
We don't have an issue removing the fuel subsidy. Of course, there will be an immediate impact, negative impact. Negative in the sense that things are going to go up. Money is not at hand. People don't have liquidity. As manufacturers, we are there to manufacture, to send to the public, to sell. But whereby you manufacture, it goes to the market and people don't buy. You are left with inventory.
The chairman, however, advised the federal government to look at some alternatives to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal.
Federal government should look at other alternatives of cushioning the effect of this subsidy. Maybe you provide alternative, like in the past, government used to buy these luxurious buses, put it on the road. That will reduce and then give it to the public at a very minimal transportation cost. So government should also focus on revitalizing the rail system.
Many Nigerians are crying over the removal of the fuel subsidy, even as the government said it is looking at some alternatives that will help to reduce the suffering. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday met with major oil marketers at Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. The major oil marketers were led by Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun to the State House in Abuja. President Tinubu directed the National Economic Council, led by Vice President Kashim Shettima, to begin the process of providing palliatives to mitigate the effects of fuel subsidy removal. The oil marketers announced their intention to donate 50 to 150-seater mass transit buses that would run on compressed natural gas, costing 100 million each and 10 billion cumulatively, to cushion the effect of the removal within the next 30 days. The chairman, Dafman, and Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Northwest Petroleum and Gas Company Limited, Winfried Ampani, briefed State House correspondents after the meeting.
But that's not to say that because others are benefiting, they're benefiting wrongly. Nigeria cannot be subsidizing the whole of Africa when we have a lot of our own problems. So we came today to express our support and to see how we can cooperate with government, because ultimately, you can't kill the people you are trying to save. So we're not going to sit back and say, hey, yes, you have removed subsidies, so it's fine.
There's really no need for questions because it's a courtesy call and it's so straightforward, and they have pledged their cooperation with the government on this policy and its implementation. And there are quite a number of initiatives that they have reeled out to the president in terms of support. So the major item is that they are part of the organized private sector. This is the major oil marketers. They are supporting the deregulation, the full deregulation of the oil sector. And they have pledged their support in implementation of the intervention. The intervention where we don't want to call these things palliatives, but it's intervention. So both the government intervention and their own interventions complementing each other will seriously uplift the masses from whatever envisaged negative impact of that policy. It will act as a cushion.
In the meantime, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria says it has the numerical strength to force down the price of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol. The national president of the association, Chinedu Okoronko, disclosed this to journalists at a news conference in Abuja on Wednesday. Okoronko said his members are totally in support of fuel subsidy removal by President Bola Tinubu and expressed optimism that unbundling of the downstream sector has opened doors for more investors to come in. The government president expressed optimism that the association has the numerical strength to force down the price of fuel once they start independent importation of the product. Following the president's pronouncement that fuel subsidy has ended, the Nigerian National Petrol Company Limited announced adjustment in the pump price of petrol, which now sells for as high as 50 naira per litre, 500 naira per litre from 184 naira per litre. The police have sealed up the Nasarawa House of Assembly complex to avert a breakdown of law and order following the emergence of two speakers for the 7th Assembly. The State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Ramhan Nansel said this on Wednesday in a statement in Lafia. Nansel said that the action was due to a directive by the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mayagi Muhammad Baba. He said that the Commissioner gave the directive after a consultation with other security agencies in the state. Members-elect on Tuesday, June 6, held two parallel proceedings, resulting in the emergence of two different speakers for the Assembly. The National Population Commission says data from the 2023 census will help the new administration to plan specific deliverables in the discharge of its mandate, expressing optimism of holding population and housing census this year. The Commission's representative in Delta, Richard Odibo, said this during a media briefing in Asaba. Jonathan Awenyi reports.
After several postponements, the National Population Commission is still optimistic about holding a credible census that will correct and update both the human and housing statistics across the country. Although no date has been fixed, the Commission's representative in Delta, Richard Odibo, is confident that it will hold soon.
We are saying that what has been done is like 70% of what we planned to do. And having done that 70%, the things we have generated for this 70% is being used by so many agencies already. So it's already credit to the federal government. And what we need after this census is just upgrade. We may not do everything all over. For example, we will not conduct EAD exercise fully the way it was done this time. Again, we'll just be upgrading. So after the next 10 years, we may just upgrade.
For other staff of the Commission, preparation for the census is already 85%.
The Commission has also engaged in training and retraining of specialized workforce, otherwise known as DQA, Data Quality Assistants. Delta State, we have received a total of 10,600 PDAs, bags, 10,600 PDA jackets, memory cards, 25 generators, one for each local government, and all these items have been secured in the central bank vault. These local government training coordinators, we have 26 local government coordinators. These are a set of persons that ensure training at the LGA levels are coordinated properly and they report to the state coordinator.
In Delta State, thousands of enumerators, facilitators, and supervisors have been trained for the exercise, according to the Commission. The Buhari-led government approved the postponement of the 2023 population and housing census scheduled from May 3 through May 7 this year to enable this current administration make input into the census process.
In another development, the National Population Commission in Lagos Wednesday said it will take advantage of the postponement of the 2023 census exercise to revisit some hard-to-reach locations in the state. The MPC will also use the opportunity to update information on 6 local governments which were demarcated between 2015-2016 when the Commission was still using analog methods to carry out enumeration area demarcation. The MPC Federal Commissioner for Lagos State, Bimbola Saluhuddin, while briefing newsmen at the Commission's office, said physical demarcation of the 6 local governments will be carried out again with the help of the digital technology acquired for the exercise. She disclosed that out of the 1 million ad hoc staff recruited nationwide for the exercise, 5,000 who were hired from Lagos had been trained and their allowances paid in preparation for the exercise. She stated that the Commission had also acquired personal digital assistance for the 2023 census, adding that adequate arrangement has been made in respect of the storage and security of this equipment, which have been kept in the Lagos office of the Central Bank. The General Officer Commanding 8th Division, Major General Godwin Mutkut, has vowed that the perpetrators of the deadly attacks in Sokoto State will be nabbed and dealt with in a matter of days. General Mutkut made the pledge during a courtesy visit to the state governor, Ahmed Aliyu, Wednesday in Sokoto. Bandits last week unleashed terror on communities in Tangaza local government area of the state, killing 37 persons. Mutkut, who is coordinator of Operation Hadarin Daji, promised to work together with the state government to prevent deadly attacks in the state. Responding, Governor Aliyu assured them of his government's maximum support to secure the state. He said the issue of security is part of his 9-point agenda. Therefore, he will leave no stone unturned in protecting his people. Coordinator of the National Youth Service Corps in Cross River State, Andrew Zemo, has explained that 2 and not 5 members of the Corps died in a motor accident on their way to Calabar on Tuesday. According to him, the accident occurred in Ogun State. In Enugu State, Zemong, who spoke in a telephone interview with Daily Trust, said the deceased, both female and of Anambra State origin, were coming from Onitsha in a bus to Calabar for their primary assignment. He said the parents, alongside himself and the other officials, have since evacuated the bodies and deposited them in a mortuary. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming off after the break, we take a look at ways to tackle the burden of plastic pollution. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
That's great.
Welcome back, and in case if you are just joining us, this is news update on Trust TV. Now a recap of our top stories. Nigerians continue to lament over removal of fuel subsidy as businesses count losses. And police seal off Nasarawa House of Assembly complex over leadership crisis. Now moving on to more news. The federal government has declared Monday public holiday in commemoration of the June 12 Democracy Day. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Interior Oluwatoyin Akinlade announced this in a statement issued on Thursday. The government, while congratulating Nigerians on the occasion, stated that the country's democratic journey has encountered stormy and smooth sails, just like in many other climes. In his second and final time in office, ex-President Muhammadu Buhari had set aside June 12 as Democracy Day, which was previously marked on May 29th. It has been estimated that 5 trillion pieces of plastic waste are laying over 360 million square kilometers land and ocean globally, with Africa constituting the highest burden of plastic pollution. This was disclosed by an environmental expert of the Department of Environmental Management Technology of the Abubakar Tabawa Balewa University, Bauchi. Adam Ima reports.
With the theme, Solution to Plastic Pollution, environmental experts say the amount of effect of plastic materials are causing havoc on the natural environment, leading to long-term devastation on plants, animals, and humans. They said currently both individual and corporate bodies are depositing large amounts of unnatural materials into the environment, particularly agricultural soil, without understanding the negative effect of such action.
Public. And this plastic creates a lot of problem to the environment, more especially to the soil. Our communities are agrarian in nature, so it has effect on the soil. It also has effect. It's one of the causes of flooding, because the plastic waste that have been discarded normally block the drainages, and when it rains heavily, it now causes flooding. It also have a hazardous effect with regard to the air.
With that, we can be able to fight poverty with that. Because if we can now take at least 50% of the plastic thrown into the public, into the environment, then we can be able to generate not less than like 2.5 trillion US dollars. Then with that can be reinjected, can be unleashed and be reinjected into the economy. And that will now create a lot of values. So that is why, yes, we can be able to use, because that is what some people are now even saying. You can turn problem into an opportunity. So plastic, yes, is a problem, but at the same time, we can now utilize it and fight for it. Because once we attach value to it, then people will go into it.
In the same vein, students embark on awareness creation on the importance of waste to wealth.
The theme of this year is well chosen because of the impact, the negative impact plastic waste has been playing in our environment, the negative impact. So the rate at which we are generating plastic waste is becoming unbecoming, and we need to reverse it. So if not, the planet Earth might go into extinction.
You see plastics, papers, just as you see in our school, we pack everything, we pack them, put them inside trash. Some sell them and some burn them there. So I would like to advise my parents, my sisters, my colleagues, and everybody that we should try and adapt to this thing so that we'll be packing everything in our environment.
According to Adewale, the idea to celebrate the day is by encouraging the younger generation to global sanitation as well as development of schools' environment and their communities. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has directed the state water board to immediately commence water supply to residents of Gusau, the capital, who have been suffering from the scarcity that led to the death of some children a few weeks ago. The governor said the state has been able to identify the problem of perennial water shortage and prepared short-term solutions to the problem. The report.
Water, they say, is life. But for residents of Gusau Metropolis, water has become a scarce commodity in the past 1.5 months. However, relief is coming their way as Governor Dauda Lawal's administration provided the needed funds and chemical for treatment to the state's water board to ensure adequate supply to Gusau residents.
So we tried as much as possible. His Excellency made promises which he fulfilled. Those problems were addressed, and His Excellency actually wanted me to go and find out whether the repairs have been done and how soon the Gusau and environments can be able to get water.
The Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mukhtar Lugga, said he is at the water board to deliver a strong message from the Governor, directing the board to immediately commence supply of water to reduce the plight of Gusau residents.
Which was a very strong message that he wants water to be given to the people today. And we have a deadline of close of business. So I expect that, inshallah, within the next few hours, there will be water. The acute shortage of water in Zamfara will be history from today. Inshallah, this is my thinking.
The State Deputy Governor Mani Mumini went round to inspect the facilities to ensure the board complies with the Governor's directive to bring relief to the Gusau residents based on their mission to rescue Zamfara State.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has rolled out modalities for the absorption of returnee students from war-torn countries into Nigerian universities. The Registrar of JAMB, Prof. Ishaq Oloyede, while presenting the modalities at a virtual meeting with Vice-Chancellors of Nigerian universities and other critical stakeholders on Wednesday, said it is imperative to hold talks with the Vice-Chancellors following the peculiarities of each university and the variation in the responses received from them on the matter. Registrar pointed out that the emergency meeting was therefore convened to fashion out uniform standards and minimum acceptable benchmarks for the proposed absorption in line with global best practices. He also stated that the Senate of each university had the right to decide on university transfers and needed not wait for JAMB to initiate such, adding that the parley with stakeholders was to present the modalities for critique as well as receive input. The registrar reminded the vice-chancellors to key into the earlier advisory sent to universities on the procedures for proceedings applications for foreign and domestic inter-university transfers. In business, oil and gas companies operating in Nigeria fled 92.3 million standard cubic feet of gas, worth an estimated 150.8 billion between January and April 2023. The figure was contained in the recent National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency report. It represents a 79.5% increase against 50.3 MSCF of gas fled in 2020. Consequently, the oil-producing firms responsible for this flaring are expected to pay penalties of $184.6 million, an equivalent of 85.7 billion for bridging the gas flaring lows in the 4 months. The report also noted that the volume of gas flared in the 4 months is equivalent to 4.9 million tons of carbon dioxide emission and has a power generation potential of 920 gigawatts of electricity power. Now, away from Nigeria, 7 people, including 6 children, have been injured in a mass stabbing in the town of Annecy in the French Alps. A man armed with a knife attacked a group of free school children fleeing by a lake in French Alps on Thursday, injuring 4 along with an adult and sending shockwaves through the country. The The suspect was arrested at the scene in the town of NSC after the attack in the morning. Reports say he told police he was Syrian asylum seeker. Interior Minister Gerald Damanin tweeted that he had been arrested thanks to the rapid reaction of security forces. 2 of the children, believed to be aged around 3 and adults, were in critical condition and fighting for their lives in hospital. French President Emmanuel Macron denounced the stabbing as an act of absolute cowardice. And finally, in sports news, the Nigerian Football Federation has announced that the 2023 Federation Cup final will hold on 15 June 2023 at Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba, Delta State. 2018 champions Enugu Rangers will battle Bendel Insurance in the epic final, which will be a repeat of 1981 clash between the two sides. The final will be presided by the female final by 2 p.m. between cup holders Bielsa Queens and Rivers Angels. Football stakeholders and fans are looking forward to one of the best finals in both men's and women's versions. Rivers Angels and Bielsa Queens are the 2 teams that have represented Nigeria in CF Women's Champions League. The winner of the men encounter will pick the ticket for the CAF Confederation Cup competition next season. With that, we have come to the end of the Trust News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.